Hello, my name is James Anderson, and I'm going to be going through a tutorial today about how to get through the first clue in our Cyber Space Odyssey game. So first we'll need to open the directory that we have everything in. It's ACE CSO, and then in here we'll be looking at mostly these files. The first thing we can look at is this. This is basically just a PDF that has a little background. This is the story behind the game, and then here's the controls for the spaceship, and basically just these. You can use these to rotate, these to move around. And here I'll be going through this. This is what I'll be going through mostly, about how to obtain the clue. And then after you do 5 clues, you'll then do the accusation at the end if you get this far. Hopefully you will. And here we're talking about this is all the things you can do in Wireshark. I won't go through all of these. If you'd like to read through these could help if you're having trouble finding the packets in Wireshark. And then this is what we'll be doing, setting net messages. You can ignore this. We're running everything here on these machines on the local host. This is when we would be in a lab running it, but if you're running it on the same machine, you can just use the local host to capture all the traffic. These ports will be the same. We'll be the red client, so this will be our port number, and the server, really the only one we care about is the server's port number. And here are the indices. Again, we really only care about red. If you want to try these, you can try them. I'm not actually sure if they work if you're playing solo on this game. And here's the other thing we need. We actually don't really need this. These are more for our reference. We have these coded in the program, so you'll see that. But if you want to look at these and double check. And then here are the payloads, the summary of the payloads that we'll be crafting. We'll be making a cipher response and then an information request. So let's get into the game. So if we go back here and we start the server, I'm just going to put it up here in the corner, and I'm going to just minimize that. And then here's the server running. And if you right click, you can move around, you can move around. Or left click looks around, right click moves you forward, and if you use the scroll wheel, you can kind of go faster. And it says all here what you can do. And if you press B, this bubble will go away, and you'll see here our spaceship. The bubble makes it easier to see the spaceship when it gets far away. And if you want to press great. Try that again. Maybe don't do that. Back here. So yeah, just press, you can do that, B. Okay, we'll just leave that like that for now. Minimize this again. Okay, then we start our client. And we'll put that up here. And you see here's some things. I'm going to hit right shift, and that puts me into third person. So the first thing you want to do here, make sure you have focus on your client. If you press the 1 key, you will connect via TCP and basically make sure that they can talk to each other. And then if you press the WASD to kind of move around. I'm going to do this. Now I'm going to go forward, and here it should go forward. Yep. That means I'm connected and everything's good. Everything's working. Okay. So just stay there. As you can see here, here's our station, red station. There's another station over here. There's another one back there. Right now we're just going to do the red station. It's the easiest right here. So just make sure you're inside the bubble, and we're going to, whoops. I don't know why I had to type the whole thing. Okay, we'll open Wireshark, and here, since we are running on the same machine, we can just use this loopback traffic capture, and then it'll start capturing. And the one thing that I usually do, most of this is UDP. There's some other things in there, but if you just want to filter out by UDP, because that's all, that's everything that's going on in the game that we care about. So here it says, you have entered the red station's airspace. Try sending a net message hail station to the station. And if we do that, if we press H, it says we sent send a hail. Here the server in fact did get it, and here we received a cipher. So I'm going to stop Wireshark, and then in order to see the cipher, a lot of times the easiest thing is to just sort by the length of the packets and just start at the smallest ones and work your way up. And you'll see there are a lot of ones that are 33, and if you see ones that are the same, it's probably not what you're looking for. We're looking for a net message cipher, or sorry, a net message cipher. Yes, this one. We're looking for a net message cipher. So if you see these are 33, here's one that's 48, but it's nothing. This will be a string here at the very end of the packet. So it's all zeros, so that's not what we're looking for. These are all 72. There's probably going to be a lot of 72s here. And a lot of this traffic is the traffic going back and forth between the client and the server. So let's see, here we have a 77, and that's it. So here we have station cipher. What is parenthesis 8 times 10 plus 10 parenthesis divided by 9? And if I can do my math right, let's see, that's 80, 90, and then divided by 9 is 10. So it looks like our cipher is 10, I believe. I've done this a few times now, and I've realized I can't do math in my head anymore. So now that we have the cipher, we're going to need to send a net message cipher response. And to do that, we'll go back to our files and we'll double click UDP packet sender, pop up, and it opens up. I'm just going to keep it big for now. And here at the very beginning we have we have declared here some things, and these correlate to these correlate to these numbers. These are the headers for the packets, and we have in here already the ones that you'll be interested in, and we also have the indices for the ships. So if you go down to the bottom, it's the main. This is in C++. This is the entry point for a C++ program. Here we're using Boost ASIO as our to send network to use network sockets. And here we're creating UDP endpoint, which is 127.0.0.1. That's localhost. That's where we are. And 126.8.3 is the port. And if we go in here, I know this is in fact port 126.8.3. That's the port for the server. So we'll be sending, anytime we craft a packet in here, we're sending a packet to the server. So the main function, or not this main function, but the function that we're interested in, that we have written down here, is send net message. So if you hit F12 in Visual Studio, you'll go right to it. And then here is where we're crafting. Oh, it's right above the main, or it's right above the main if you can't find it that way. Here we're crafting the packet, and here we're just creating some variables to so that we can swap them out later. But here's the net message cipher response, and let's make sure that's what we're sending. If we go back to the client, it says send a net message cipher response once you solve it. So we solved it. It was what, 10. And if we go down here, net message cipher response, and this is the content of the packet that we're going to need, but we also need this header, and we need to have how many bytes are in the payload. So right here we don't know yet because we haven't created the packet yet, so we just make a dummy of, and we say it's 0, and it just kind of is a placeholder of 4 bytes. You see down here now we create the this net message to stream buffer. We shift in we insert the header ID in these dummy bytes, these dummy four dummy bytes, and then here we make these variables, client IDX, and here it's 0. If you'd like, you can also use the red IDX variable. And since we're at the red station, we're going to do that. And now our answer is 10. Let me make sure that was right. 80 plus 10 is 90. Divided by 9 is 10. Okay. So then here we're putting into the stream the client IDX, station IDX, and that answer. If you go here, that's in fact what we want. We want these guys here. And you could have made these unsigned ints, but they're fine. Yeah. So this little method here just updates this so that these bytes, it basically tells it how big this payload is, and then here we send that number of the size. We get the size of the buffer, and then here we send size. I guess we don't need it. It just says here we send. Oh, we don't use that variable. We just use it. We just put it right in there again. So, but this is where you're sending it. This is the buffer. This is how many bytes you want to send, and here's some other stuff that you need to send to with it. But you don't really need to touch this. You touch this, you'll be looking at these, and you'll be changing this. Okay. So the first time I do this, it's nice to just build it so it runs a little quicker. And I'm actually going to move this. I'll move it down here. Okay. This up a little bit. Okay, looks like cool. If you check that, our build succeeded. So we'll have this. Now we have Wireshark again. So what's going to happen is we're going to run this C++ program. It's going to send this net message to the server. The server will receive it, and hopefully we're right. The answer was 10. Actually, well, if you put the wrong number in here, it'll tell you that you're wrong. So we'll see, and you won't get the answer. And then we're going to use Wireshark to listen for that packet, and we'll find it in here. So first thing, we'll run Wireshark. You can say continue without saving, so it'll just clear this all out for you. And then if you just hit this, it'll start, and then that pops up and it's done. It runs pretty quick, and it says here it exited, so we can stop this. So yeah, this will run. Should run pretty quick if you build it ahead of time. And if you get good at it, you can start this, run this, and stop this pretty quickly. But so okay, length. So we're going to sort these by length again. We'll make it go up. So again, we have these 33s. That's probably not what we're looking for. Here's a 51. Oh, and look, 51. So, and the only reason I know that this is it, because here we have a string at the end, and this is an encrypted. Oh, and before I go that, we can look here. So Redshift responded to Red Station Cipher Challenge, access granted. And here in our client, it says password related data sent to the red team, use Wireshark to found it. So, oh, and it says cipher answer correct. So that means that this ran successfully. So actually, if I run this again, it kind of said that again. So really all we need is this. So if you right click on this and you say it's printable text, and we're going to copy that. And now to decrypt it, you can do this by hand, but we have this handy dandy encryption tools program. I'll just open that, and I'm just going to paste. Just hit Control V. I'm just going to paste the whole thing, this whole thing in here. There'll be some gibberish because I copied these bytes too. but it'll make sense once we decrypt this what the password is. This is the encrypted password, and the password is encrypted with the CSO cipher, which is just where they each one of these gets added or subtracted the encryption key amount, and our encryption key was 10, and if we decrypt it, we have a password, Greyhounds. So I'm going to copy that, and here I'm going to make a new variable called password, and I'm going to make it equal to Greyhounds. And then because the password, when we send the password, we don't send the cipher, we don't send the cipher answer with it. I'll just comment that out for now, so that you can delete it or just comment it out, because you'll be sending another packet for the next clue. You want to reuse that, so you can just uncomment that and use it again. So now we'll put into the stream or messenger or net message stream the password string, and so the payload is cool. We've got that going. The only other thing we need to change is the header ID. If I go to here, let's move this here. If I go here, so what we're sending, this doesn't really say anything there, but what we're doing is we're going to send this password net message information request, again, where we send the client station IDXs in this password string. So instead of the header being the net message cipher response, we want it to be a net message information request. Cool. So then again, I'll build that. You don't have to do it like this. You can just hit the play button to play it, and it'll build it and run it for you. If you build it, it'll run a little quicker because it doesn't have to build. So we're going to go back into Wireshark, and we're going to start it up again. And there we go. We're now listening again. So now if we hit play, boom, stop. The red ship wants a clue from the red station. The red ship team got a clue. Clue sent to red team. Use Wireshark to find it. Okay, cool. So now we're going to be looking for a clue, and if I just go back to this, it will be a net message clue which was sent from the server, and it's basically just a string. So what we're looking for is something that just has a string, and it's going to be in ASCII, so it won't be like garbage like this. And let's see, we sort by length again, go back to the top. This one would be a little bit longer. Again, there's a bunch of 33s. Here's 57, but that's not anything. Here's a 59. Oh, that's that guy again. There's that, but that's nothing. So there's a bunch of 77s. Go down. Oops. And 77, that's not going to be anything. It's going to be something like this. Here's a bunch of 90s. Those are probably aren't anything. Here's a 93. This looks promising. Ooh, clue is sent to the... cool. Okay. So this means that we did get the clue. And at this point, if you find this, you can actually sort them by time. And now these are like, by the time they were sent, actually, because I'm going up, if I go down, this will be in sequential order of when they were sent. So if I'm right, this should be, so the server sent this to say that a clue was sent. If I'm right, this one should be the clue, and it is. So here you see it's like some scrambled up text, kind of like our password was. So again, we're going to copy it as printable text, go back into our handy dandy encryption tools, and just paste it in there. And now there's going to be some, since when we copied this, we copied some bytes here at the beginning. This is actually like the header. If you look here, this is the header, and then here are 4 bytes for the size of the payload. So CE, whatever, that's in hexadecimal, so whatever that is, that's how many bytes the rest of this payload is. So that's actually, this is actually the packet that we sent, that we constructed over here. So the clue is encrypted with a keyword substitution, and I happen to know that the keyword is the password. So if we hit decrypt, cool, we get a cool clue. And the objective, after we get this clue, we now can go on to the next station, but you want to save this because otherwise you'd have to go through the whole process again. And I'll just open like Notepad, regular Notepad, and just paste it in here. You can like trim off the beginning there. So then this is the first clue, and the game is basically like the board game Clue, where it will tell you, okay, these are the people who could do it, and then as you get more clues, you'll mix and match the clues to kind of eliminate people and finally deduce who it was who did it. And after you get to finish all 5 stations, you will go here. You'll go through this process of making an accusation. But that's after you go through the first all 5 stations, and they get a little harder as you go, especially with the third one. But making it past this point is pretty good. If you can make it all the way to the end, that's amazing, and you win 200 gold stars. So congratulations if you've made it this far, and good luck with the rest of it.